But whether you're doing good or bad, people will still point and judge and hate. So now I thought there's no real reason for me to actually be shy or to back down. So that pushed me forward.
The Punchline Podcast brings you another guest with another story, some more inspiration. Make sure you subscribe, like, share the channel with your friends and family, and we'll keep bringing you more and more fantastic guests. So today's guest is an artist in his own right, who also performs religious or spiritual performances, and he's also an entrepreneur where he's running his own business. So without further ado, I'm going to ask him to introduce himself. So Sahil, just give yourself an introduction.
Thank you very much for the invite, first of all. My name is Sahil Zafran, born and bred here, local Birmingham. Started up as a young child reciting notes, Islamic poetry. Grew up further across. My uncle was murdered. After that, we started doing more of these emotional kind of tracks. And, that's what got me my name. All these emotional, the sad songs, Nasheed's, emotional, Dukre. This is what made me, well known.
So just to probe a little bit and go into a little bit more depth, you said your uncle was murdered. So tell us what happened and the story behind it, if that's something you want to share.
To be honest, till today, nobody knows what happened. They were in a park. They were well known, to the community. They were in the park. Some young guy, 18-year-old, stabbed him, and from there passed away shortly later. So till today, nobody knows. It was an open and shut case.
Okay. And then when you said that, it made you go into more of the deeper poems or the deeper naats. Can you explain to the people who are viewing what is the naat, the purpose of a naat?
Purpose of a naat is praise of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay.
Praise of the best of creation. But then you have a dukra, which is it's dedicated to a loved one, which is what we'd say a sad song. And this is what, when my uncle was murdered, I mainly focused more towards the sad song, the dukre. So I was, reciting these in mosques, khatams, everywhere. I started to, recite these, and I've just come back from, I just read one now at Janaza. So, it touches people more, it appeals to them, and, that's what kept me going. Alhamdulillah, today, the name I have is, I can only say it relates back to that incident.
And when you were younger, is there some formal training or a certain teacher that taught you, or it was all self-taught? Where did the interest come from? Where did you start it all?
To be honest, my dad used to take me a lot to, a local masjid and
Okay.
all these events. So, Shab-e-Qadr and, later Barat, all these events we used to have in the mosque. Dad used to take me. And from there, I had a strong interest towards reciting. And as I was a kid, my family, everyone else is different. I used to think I had a very squeaky voice. I didn't like it at all. And, as I grew up later on, I started to realize, my voice is changing, and I liked it myself. The tone I was getting up, I liked it. And then when I was looking back at my videos, I'm like, nah, I was like, don't share these, no one share these. Like, even till today, I'm like, nah, I don't want these out there. But alhamdulillah, my dad really taught me pick up a tune, and I just carry on, practicing it, and slowly, I got the tune in my head.
So when was your first performance? Were you really young, or?
I was about 5, 6.
And then obviously, was it your dad that used to put you forward?
Dad used to put me forward. I wanted to recite myself. I was like, I want to read here, I want to read there. And then Dad was like, okay, you can read. And I used to read, and I was fine. I used to enjoy it. But at that time, you'd think to yourself, oh, I got the best voice ever. When you grow older, then I was like, nah. Now, alhamdulillah, decent. Back then.
Yeah, but I suppose that confidence is good, because that's what makes you start.
Yeah,
so being confident, regardless whether you're good or bad, having the confidence and the ability to stand up in front of a crowd or in front of older people, you was only a child then. Yeah. It says a lot about somebody. So that's a good start.
The way I had the confidence was always just think to myself, that whether you're doing good or bad, people will still point and judge and hate. So now I thought, there's no real reason for me to actually be shy or to back down. So that pushed me forward.
And how often do you do these naats or events?
I'd say in 2017 to 18, I had over 115 events in a year. and that was that was a good year. But then after that, now obviously because I've been working in the business, I've not I've only done about 2 in the whole year.
Okay. And are you looking to do more, or you're not sure
I
yet?
am, but maybe a couple of years time.
Okay. So let's move on to something different. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
You talked about your business and work. So obviously you've set up your own business. Talk us through what you've done and how it's going and what the vision is for the future.
So my dad's obviously been in the security industry for over, I think, 20 years, 15, 20 years he's been in the industry for. And the way I see it is security is one of the most growing and establishing business going. There's always work and there's always people who need work, whether it's even in COVID, all the other jobs, people they were getting,
Furloughed.
furloughed.
Yeah.
They're getting furloughed apart from security because the places that are shut, even they need security. So there's plenty of more jobs. And I thought about that. I looked at that time I didn't have a badge. So I thought to myself, this is something I need to get into. So I applied for my SI badge, got the badge, and I worked a couple of sites here and there, done it. And then I thought to myself, the guys who are making, the guys who are working and the guys who are making the money. And then I thought to myself, there's one guy who I met, and he was obviously he was in charge of the contract. It was his contract, and he goes to all of us that if you all work, I'll make a good, amount.
X amount.
He
We
goes-
won't disclose the
and
figure.
He
but
was
X
he was
amount.
coming, and he had a Ferrari himself, and he was like, all of yous work for the whole month, and I'll buy another one. So then I thought to myself, everyone working for a month, and he's gonna get another Ferrari. Then I thought, what, that's a lot of money. And then he pushed me forward, and he goes, it's not easy. So he says to me that, open it up and see yourself. And then I thought to myself, I said to Dad, and bless Dad. As soon as I mentioned to him, within a week later, he had it up and running for me.
So what's the company called?
Reliable Security Group.
Reliable Security Group. And what areas do you cover?
We cover, at the moment, it's going to be Birmingham, but I like to travel myself. So I want to go out, more towards East Midlands, even up Yorkshire, London, Kent.
So anywhere there's
Slough.
work, basically.
Anywhere there's work.
And do you have any specialists, like security guards, like, for example, rapid response, dog patrol, anything else like that?
Yeah, I done a site, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and even there I was a dog handler myself.
Okay. And do you have your own dogs, or do you get dogs in, or?
The dog I had was my manager's, so he gave me his dog to use, and it was there. But I've got one guard. He's got 2 dogs of his own. He's a dog handler, and he's also been a head doorman for 9 years. So the people that are coming on board have got some good history with them.
Good experience. Yeah.
Good experience.
So if somebody wanted to work with you or for your company, how could they reach you? How could they get in touch with you, or what do they need to have in place?
The website should be released and launched by the time this video comes out, so it'll be through our website.
Okay. And what qualifications do they need to enter or to join up?
Qualifications, they don't need, to be honest, all they need is the SIA badge and at least 5 years vetting. So 5 years of proof of work experience.
Okay. And if they're not qualified, is there any courses that you run or training that you can
we
offer?
will be offering. We have a few companies who offer the course, but we'll be also offering the course as well.
So you're going to be like in-house training?
Yeah, in-house
Good.
training.
And any plans for the Commonwealth Games?
Commonwealth Games, yes, we are thinking to apply for the contract, and that's actually a good, it's something different, event management, and that's something we are looking into definitely.
Okay, cool. And at the moment, what kind of staff levels have you got? How many staff have you got, or are you still building?
We're still building, but I'd say the staff I've got, as in the contacts wise, I've got over 160 guards.
Okay, so that's quite good.
So,
quite
yes.
Good start.
Good start.
Yeah, I think having your dad on board and having your own experience helps as well, because you know how
This
it
is
works.
this is just from my contacts, and obviously Dad's got tens of thousands more.
And
than
then
me.
you're going to get more coming in
Yeah.
as well. Good. So let's go back to yourself outside of work. When you're not working, what are your favorite hobbies, pastimes? What do you like getting involved in?
Snooker.
So you like
I
snooker.
love snooker.
So who's the best snooker player right now?
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, Ronnie O'Sullivan. After him, I'd say Trump.
Yeah, I like Trump myself, but I think Ronnie. I don't think there's going to be another Ronnie for a while.
It's just too natural. He plays it like it's actually a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't play serious. which shows that how good he is.
And the problem is people who don't know about snooker watch him and they think it's easy.
Yeah.
But it's a very difficult sport.
It's a very difficult sport, really. It's slight, you look away for a second and, it's different to pool. I used to, when I was a kid, my dad's actually very good at snooker. He's got loads of trophies and stuff back when he was younger. And I used to look at dad and I used to be, the game's so easy. And dad was, you're comparing me to pool. When I used to play pool, 9 times out of 10 you'll get it in. And the first time I touched the snooker table, I was like, whoa.
It's quite a bigger table than
a bigger
pool
table.
Yeah.
The balls are smaller as well. I was like, and alhamdulillah, right now I'm actually quite decent.
What's your highest break then?
Oh, that's about 40.
Not bad.
Yeah,
at all.
dad's is over 100.
Any competitions?
No, I don't.
Just for fun?
Just for fun.
Okay.
Just for fun.
I know a few players who play in competitions where I think they travel from clubs to clubs.
Yeah, I've got a mate who does that.
Yeah, and they have a good time. They enjoy it. It's a good pastime. Gets your mind off things. Good chill. Let's go back to you being an artist. So you talked about the religious side. Do you take part in normal songs?
No.
Normal singing? Strictly no, yeah?
Strictly no.
So before we move on to listening to you, we're going to ask you to perform maybe something small, something short, but also before you perform it, tell us what it's about in English, the background, what you're actually saying, and the purpose of it. So the people out there who can't understand what you're saying, at least understand the background before they hear your voice. Okay,
I'll talk about one of this track of mine actually went viral on TikTok.
Okay.
So with the TikTok, it's got over, 500k views. On YouTube, it's about 140k. So this is what I say is my best track I've done so far. And it's the most meaningful. It's about a person who's lost somebody in life and they've lost themselves. So it could be someone who's lost a family member or a friend. And the meaning of it, it touches you from your heart to the moment you bury them in the graveyard to when you go back at home. So, it's relevant for everyone. Everyone can relate to it. So I'll recite the first line of it, first course. जुदाई में तेरी क्या हाल हुआ है, भूले से भूलू ना मैं चेहरा तेरा, कोई अपना खो गया मेरा, मैं तुझको ढूंढूं कहाँ, यहाँ पे रहना नहीं सबको, एक दिन है जाना, ये दुनिया तो है बेवफा, एक दिन है तुझको ठुकराना. So you understand that yourself?
I understand, but all the people viewing need to give them a word by word breakdown, and some of the words are quite difficult in there. So
so जुदाई में तेरी क्या हाल हुआ है is trying to say that in this day and age, look at what's happened. Look at my hal. Look at how I am right now. जुदाई में तेरी क्या हाल हुआ है, भूले से भूलूं ना मैं चेहरा तेरा. I can't still forget. I can't forget your face. Even now, your image still resembles in my heart. कोई अपना खो गया मेरा. I've just lost someone who was close to me. I've lost. मैं तुझको ढूंढूं कहाँ. Where am I supposed to look for you? यहाँ पे रहना नहीं जब वो एक दिन है जाना. So everyone who's living here today, each one of them have to go. So ये दुनिया तो है बेवफा. This life, this world is, it's gonna deceive you. एक दिन तुझको ठुकराना. One day it's gonna do you over. So it's trying to say, the whole moral of the track is, don't be too comfortable, don't be too cushy with life, because it's only here for 2 days.
So that's the first line, yeah.
That's just the first line.
Let's go again to the next line.
तेरिया यादा विच अथरू रुकदे ने, पेंदे ने हर वेले ए सुख देने, रब करे तेरा कोई दुनिया तू जावे ना, गम होदा ए डाडा तैनू ए रुलावे ना, सोचिया नहीं सी के तू इन्नी छेती जाएगा, वेरा हो गया ए हाली गम में जलाएगा, किन्ना औखा किसी नू यारा खुद दफनाना. तेरियां यादां विच अथरू रुकदे ने. In your remembrance the tears don't stop flowing. बेंदे ने हर वेले ए सुखने ने. Every time, it's just they just dry up. It's one of those where, you cry so much and then those tears are just, they imprint onto your skin. You can just tell, okay, this person's been crying for a long time. Rabb kare tera koi duniya tu jave na. I pray to Allah, I pray to my Lord that nobody ever leaves, somebody you love, nobody ever leaves you. Duniya tu jave na. Gham honda hai dada. The pain is so, is so strong and solid that it's gonna hurt you. Gham honda hai dada. Tenu veru sochiya nahi ke tu. I couldn't ever think that you're gonna leave me so soon. Honda hai tenu veru love sochiya nahi. Vera ho gaya hai hali gham hai jalayega. The time goes on, but the pain just gets worse and harder. You can't get over it. So it's very deep.
Proper deep stuff, yeah.
Proper deep stuff.
Let's go to the next line.
आते जाते तेरी मैं कब्रां च रोंदा जाने वाले फोटो वेख राती ना सोंदा ख्वाबा विच आवी जा दीद करावी जा ख्वाबा विच आवी जा दीद करावी जा मैनू अब तू ही संभालिए मौला आते जाते तेरी मैं कब्रा च रोंदा I keep coming and going, keep visiting, going back, keep visiting your grave. Jaane wale photo vek rati na sote. As I'm going, I'm leaving with your photo, and all night I'm just keep looking. Khaba vich avija deed, please come into my dream, and at least do one good deed for me. Not just come into my dream, then I'll be happy. Khaba vich avija deed gravija menu ab tu hi sambaliya mola. Only God can help me now. It's that deep. मैंने दुख मोला किए तेरे हवाले हर मुश्किलों को तू ही है टाले मैं किसनू सुनावाए हाल में दिल दा मैं आया हूँ बन के सवालिए मौला मैं आया हूँ बन के सवालिए मौला. This part is going to be the best part so far. हमने ना सीखा तुम्हें भूल जाना याद जो आए तेरा मुस्कुराना वो बचपन जो गुजरा था तेरे साथ हंस कर काश कोई मिलने का मिले एक बहाना मौला मेरा तेरे सिवा कोई भी नहीं तू ही बस तू है और कोई नहीं ज़फ़रान तुझसे मांगे बस ये ही दुआ So हमने ना सीखा तुम्हें भूल जाना. This is one thing we didn't learn in life, how to live without you. याद जो आए तेरा मुस्कुराना. Only thing we remember now is your smile. Zafran, he prays. Zafran tujhe mange bas yahi dua. Zafran, all he does now is just do dua that Allah keeps everyone safe and salamat. So the whole track, because my dad writes all of mine.
So your dad's a songwriter?
My dad writes all of mine.
And obviously the language you're speaking, is that the same language you speak at home, or is that just for the naats?
We speak Mirpuri, Patwari at home.
Yeah.
And these naats are in Urdu or in Punjabi.
So this one's particularly
This
Punjabi.
Punjabi.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because Punjabi, I don't know why the words somehow they hit you harder. They're more meaningful. You can express more emotions with Punjabi.
It's more informal as well, I think.
It's more informal, and especially if you speak Murpuri at home, the words are similar. Aate jate teri mein kabra ch rondaya.
Yeah, so, the broad understanding is there. Yeah.
It's very simple to understand.
So that you mentioned that you normally perform slightly sad naats. Is there any that are more, I wouldn't say happy, but less of sad, more to do with like when you said naat is about remembering the Prophet, or in the shan of the Prophet?
In the shan of the Prophet, the naats I have towards those, alhamdulillah, I still try to go for the more emotional ones.
Yeah. Meaning
like you remember Medina Sharif, or these kind, because I always believe that the biggest factor in a person is their heart. And when whenever you do anything, people remember you. It's a good heart. They remember. So when you're doing like a naat and it's an emotional one, it hits them straight in the heart, and that's when you want people to connect. So mainly, I do try to do emotional ones. can't really think of any, I say, happy ones.
Give us another one of your choice.
Another one of my choice.
Yeah. But this time, what we'll say do the whole naat or just the main part and give the description at the end.
Okay. You want me to do the whole knot?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've got to get the notes out for this.
No problem. And like, you know, when you said your dad does a songwriting or the naat, not song,
The
it's a naat,
lyricist.
the lyrics. How long does it take your dad? Do you sit together for hours or does he do it quick?
Everyone gets shocked at this because with dad, it's literally, I can say to dad, you know, dad, can you write me some lyrics? And, you know, here I'll hum the tune and then write it. And it's like 15 minutes and he texts me back saying, is this okay? And I'm thinking to myself, how have you got it so quick? But it's just like, I'm used to it now. Most people, you know, they ask dad, can you write us something like this? And dad gets it done within half an hour. You know, you get shocked.
And does he do it in Urdu or does he write in English for you?
Urdu, Punjab, writes in English,
Yeah.
but it's like transliteration.
Just like a prompt, yeah?
Yeah, so it's transliteration. Okay, this one is it's not too sad, it's in the middle.
Okay.
दर पे तेरे या मोहम्मद मेरा भी होवे गुज़र मैं भी देखूंगा मदीना उनकी जब होगी नजर दर पे तेरे या मोहम्मद मेरा भी होवे गुज़र मेरे दिल की है तमन्ना बस यही अरमान है लौट के फिर मैं ना आऊं रहने दो उनके ही दर पे तेरे या मोहम्मद मेरा भी होवे गुज़र जिसने रब से मांगा देकर वासिता महबूब का झोलियाँ भरते हैं आका क्या इधर तो क्या उधर दर पे तेरे या Muhammad. I'll read the last line, and this is called a Makta, meaning it's got the name of the author, of the lyricist in there. तू भी ज़फ़रान मांग ले वो रहमतुल लिल आलमीन कुछ नहीं उनसे छुपा है कुछ नहीं उनसे छुपा है उनको है सबकी खबर मैं भी देखूंगा मदीना उनकी जब होगी नजर. Translation of this: Dar pe tere ya Muhammad. So, oh, you know, the house of, you know, the dar in Urdu, in our language, dar is, we'd say it's the house, but in the case of Arabic, when you say dar pe tere, it means dar as in the place where the Prophet ﷺ was, not regarding to the house, but just like, for example, if someone is to refer to you, they say, you know, the boxing club, you know, somewhere, it's like around that area. So the place where the Prophet ﷺ used to reside, mera bhi hove guzar, you know, I want, you know, I also wish I was also there. You know, I wanted to live in that time. Main bhi dekhunga Madina, unki jab hogi nazar. I also want to see Medina in the time of the Prophet ﷺ when they were there. मेरे दिल की है तमन्ना बस यही अरमान है. In my heart, the tamanna, the desire and the wish I have, this is the only thing I really want. लौट के फिर मैं ना आऊं रहने दो उनके ही दर. I don't ever want to come back, and I just want to stay there, you know, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ with them in this. जिसने रब से मांगा देकर वास्ता महबूब का. The way the Prophet ﷺ, you know, asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for, you know, for us and our, you know, they prayed for the ummatis, you know,
the intercession.
Intercession, that's the word. Jholiyan barte hain aaka kya idhar to kya udhar. So Joliya, I don't know how to explain it in English. Do you know yourself?
It's to be in the lap, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but so it's like you say when you feel like, you know, in Apnis one we say you feel like, you know, you have your kameez and you fill it with back in the days they used to put, for example, bangles or whatever. In this way they say you fill it with blessings and stuff. So Joliya barte hai aka kya idhar to kya udhar. So you know, the filling the kameez with blessings, you know, here or there, you know, everyone wants to be, you know, given. Tu bhi Zafran mangale wo rahmatul lil alameen. O Zafran, you also ask from, you know, the best of creation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kuch nahi unse chupa hai, unko hai sab ki khabar. Nothing is hidden from them, they know everything.
And that part where you mentioned the author's name, what is that called?
Maqta.
The Maqta. So that was the Maqta. And
That's
Zafran
Maqta.
is the name of
My dad.
your father, yeah. So it's like dedicated to your dad in a way. So does your dad normally perform with you or just writes
No,
for you?
Just write.
And can he perform undercover?
No.
You can tell us, even if it's a secret.
No.
Okay. And is there any other friends or circles of people that you work with or would like to work with, or?
I've got good, like, got some good mates around me, good friends. Mukhi is one of them. He's a good friend. I've got Mani.
And do they join in with you, or?
Yeah.
So you do some collabs, yeah?
Mani, I'm looking to release something with him as well. It's a knot. And, you know, inshallah, that's going to be a good one. That's something different we worked on.
It'd be nice to hear both of you working together. Because obviously you're blessed with good voices, both of you. And the message is good. And those people who don't understand, it might give them that, you know, that zeal to go and learn the language and learn some of the culture and learn some of the religious side of it, the religious texts that come into it and the stories behind what you've written. And it might be a way for them to, you know, educate themselves and learn a little bit more.
Yeah, personally, I love Punjabi language. It's not the most cleanest of languages, but
Depends which words you use.
Depends which words you use. Yeah, it's not one of the cleanest, but it's something everyone will relate to. You know, it's not one of those when you hear someone speaking in Punjabi, you know, just like you vibe to it. You know, it's one of those. Same in Patwari. So I'm thinking to release a Patwari knot as well, something different.
So have you got one ready, or?
No, I don't have one.
You had
ready.
one ready.
I remember one, Prince Nasheed. I don't know if you heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Nasheed artist.
Yeah.
He done a Patwari one, and that was something I listened to in the car. You know, I really like that. So I'm thinking of doing one myself. And
you know, the actual rhythm that you're reciting, is that your own rhythm or is that taken from particular rhythms that already exist?
See, the one I just read now was from Naat Haale Dil Kisko Sunaye. That's from there. Teriyan Yaadan was my own.
Okay.
So from the start to the finish was my own, apart from the last part. Humne na seekha tumhe bhul jana. That's original from somebody else.
Okay.
But all the rest of the kalam was my own. I've done another one, Mere Rabba, which is like a medley. So I've got loads of different tunes and I put them all into one.
So we'll go on to that one in a minute. So, you know, when people ask you to come and stand before the gathering and recite,
yeah.
How do you get yourself ready for that? Do you just get up and go, or do you have and do you have any like pre-meditation or a practice, or do you have a certain way? Do you drink water? Like certain people like to sit in a separate room. What's your actual approach to standing up before a crowd? And how big are the crowds? Because I know some mosques, they have thousands of people.
You know, the crowds are always like a lot, and I don't mind. I prefer when it's less people, because then you can actually look at everyone. Like, for example, it's just me and you. I can look at you and, you know, you express to you and you'll understand. But when it's a big crowd, it gets hard to, you know, communicate with everybody individually. Because when you're an artist and you're performing, you know, you're reciting Naat or whatever, you're on the stage and you're looking around and you got, you know, say you've got thousands of people there, and your aim is, you need to pass on a message, and, you know, there's no point if I'm reading Naat here and they're just listening and there's no interaction, then you want to also get them, you want to explain to them as well and get them to understand exactly what, you know, what I'm saying or what's going on. So I do prefer to have small, you know, private gathering. Once the mehfil's over or the gathering's over in the back room, then, you know, just the guys themselves. That's what I prefer.
Just to reinforce the message.
Reinforce the message once you're known.
And from your crowd, how do you know if they're understanding, or if they're enjoying? What kind of reactions do you get? I know what kind of reactions you get, but for the crowd or for our viewership, I want them to know how the crowd responds. And
So, me and you are talking now, the camera can see us.
yeah,
We're talking, eye contact. Me looking at you shows you're interested. But if you're looking at me and you're talking to me and I'm just like this, you sort of get the message
different
that
vibe,
he's not clocked on. He's not, we're not. There's no link here. And some people will be looking at you like, thinking, just looking on stage like, yeah, he's reading this, that. So it's like you understand and you look at each, when you're looking around and stuff. So what I started doing was probably the last year, I just closed my eyes and read. So then, if anybody was to
try to steer you out.
Yeah, it's not even that.
Put you off.
It's just that it does put you off in a way. It's like because you're reading for the Prophet ﷺ. So when I close my eyes, and then you can just hear whoever's reading with you. And most of the time, because I read the new kalams and my dad writes them, it's
No one can read with you because it's new stuff. Yeah.
But they understand with the lyrics. Like today, I read Gambi Chorida, which is it's a dukra. We changed it up towards a mother for my Saba. So I read this today, and everyone's heard the kalam, but with the new lyrics, then nobody knew. But still, you can hear people crying. You can hear, sobbing. Some guys are saying Subhanallah. So everyone is linked with it. Everyone is engaged. So it all depends. It comes with a bit of experience as well. The more you attend, the more you sort of you understand.
And also, when the other thing, when the crowd responds, is there certain etiquettes how the crowd should respond? Because I've seen sometimes people just stand up and start shouting and they ruin the flow.
Throwing money, that's something I don't like. It's not no respect really. You're throwing money at somebody. I don't like that. And then another one is when they start standing up and start doing standing up and shouting and stuff. That another thing, it puts you off as a performer, as an artist. It puts you off, and you have to think about it. Is like you're not singing songs here. We're praising the Prophet ﷺ. And in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, when they used to speak, nobody would make, they wouldn't even move. And you must have heard narrations where birds would sit on the heads of the companions. That's how still they were. So nowadays I think we're far from that. Masjids.
So I think the message for people is to contain yourself.
Be
respectful.
Be respectful. And it's one of those ones.
And let the person focus.
Let the person focus. And they should focus themselves, because yourself. If you're trying to focus on something and you're being all fidgety and stuff, you're not going to be able to focus yourself.
Yeah.
And the person next to you won't be there.
And you disturb others as well. Those who want to focus. Yeah.
You do. You mentioned before. What's the pre-routine? You see, with me, my voice is very husky. So I think for the last 2 years, my voice has been very husky. So like when I'm speaking, I can't shout, but if I was to sing, my voice comes out better.
You can project it.
But when I speak loud, I can't shout loud because my voice is not loud. It's just very husky and deep. This is one problem I've had, and it took me a while. How do I get around this? Because I was feeling weird. I liked the tone, and then a few people said to me, "You sound like you're a Qawwali type of voice." So I started to watch more Qawwalis and stuff, look at it, and I was thinking to myself, what did they be drinking or this, that. Then when I found out what they be drinking, I was like, okay, let's find something else. And then I realized I used to ask other Nasheed artists, a good friend of mine, Avais Iqbal, he gave me a lot of tips and a lot of help towards it. But, obviously me doing my self-medication, having a cup of tea, that used to make I couldn't read. My voice would feel like it's sunk. I couldn't perform. I tried. Some people used to say try sugar and honey. I tried that. My voice is a good bit, better.
Yeah.
My voice wouldn't come out. Then I thought to myself, everyone used to say don't have Coke, don't have cold water, don't have this. So I thought, a few times I thought, this is not working. I just carry on, drink my Coke, Red Bulls and stuff. Have that. I realized, I'm having my Coke, having Red Bull, and my voice is fine. It's better. I'm actually performing better than I was before, and now the same routine now. Fizzy drinks, and everyone's gala is different. Everyone's techniques are different. But for me, it works. Cold water, it doesn't affect me. Milk apparently is supposed to be the worst thing for an artist. Even if you Google it, singers say, like the English singer Ed Sheeran, stay away from calcium, stay away from milk and all of this. With me, I have milk. I can have like 2-3 glasses of milk, and then my voice feels more full.
When you said about the voice, I remember my teacher, he used to recite Quran, and he used to stay away from cold drinks. And he said the extreme cold drinks spoils your throat. and he used to always say, even the water, mix it with a bit of warm water and give me.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that works for everybody. Like
See,
you said,
everyone's taught the same. I was told the same, and I was doing it, and then I was like, my voice wouldn't come out. Like it feel like I'm putting too much pressure to get my natural voice out. And then I realized, and then I thought to myself, you know what? As they say, if it doesn't work, reverse psychology, do the opposite. So I went and I had ice cold water, and I realized it's working for me. It's good. This is, I'm feeling it. So I thought to myself, like, you know what? If it works, let's stick with it. So it's not causing any harm to me. So,
so you said that you've done a few studies on the Qawwali style, but you only do the vocal. So clear cut, you don't do the music.
Yeah, I don't do.
So do you want to give us a couple of lines or a little bit to just summarize? And we'll summarize with all your contact details so people can reach you. And
what's your favorite Qawwali?
I have a few favorites, but I don't listen to them all the time.
Okay. Do you know any off the top of your head?
Gamli Wala.
Kamli Wale Muhammad.
Yeah.
कमली वाले मोहम्मद तो सदके में जा, कमली वाले मोहम्मद तो सदके में जा, जिन्हें आके गरीबां दी बाफर लई, जिन्हें आके गरीबां दी बाफर लई, कमली वाले मोहम्मद तो सदके में जा, जिन्हें आके गरीबां दी बाफर लई, मेरी बख्शिश वसीला मोहम्मद दाना, जिन्हें आके गरीबां दी बाफर लई.
Really, really good. So from now to the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, what's your plan with the Nasheeds?
My plan is with the Nasheeds, inshallah, learn Arabic, get more into the Arabic qasides, and do the qasida. I want to do a full album of a qasida. It's like 4 hours, but
it's a lot of hard work.
It's a lot of hard work.
And obviously, Dad's going to be working hard writing with you as well.
Yeah, so no, that's already made. It's Mawla Yasali.
It's already there. You're just going to reproduce it.
Qasida Burda.
Okay, yeah.
So no one's actually done the full book. Like people think Mawla Yasali is just Muhammadun's, and then whole Habib. That's only like
a segment.
3, 4. There's actually a full volume. So it's like it takes hours. So it's like one of those. I'm gonna, inshallah, definitely get onto that.
So obviously people are gonna watch this podcast and they're gonna want to know more about you. So how can they find you? What's your social media accounts? YouTube channel if you got one.
YouTube channel is Sahil Zafran. My Instagram Sahil Zafran 1. Snapchat Sahil Zafran also. So nice and simple, just my name.
That's simple.
I like to keep it simple.
That's been fantastic. Thank you very much.